Hello, welcome everybody to episode 12 of the This Kid is 40 Sorare journey. And I'm back, guys. Been away again for a week. I haven't been sick, I've just been a bit busy. And it's been a crazy week on Sorare in so many ways. So today I'm not gonna just go through too much on basically my team and stuff. But what I'm planning to kind of do, excuse me, sorry about the mic here. What I'm planning to do this week is really just have a little bit of a point of view with some of the key topics that's been really discussed across board in the world of Sorare. So the first one would be rewards in general. I think focusing on how difficult it is to get a reward nowadays. So that's number one. Number two, the launch of the Div 2 tournaments, where all the Division 2 for all the champion Europe teams. So the championship, for example, Serie B, they're all now, suddenly those players that are in those leagues are all alive now because there's a specific tournament for them. And then last but not least, of course, Sorare Data, a tool that I used on my streams or on my videos so often is no longer free to play. It's actually under a paywall. So we're going to discuss about all three, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what we care on what all of this is about. Like I say, this is just all my opinions. I'm not in any way saying that I'm an expert in all of this. This is just my point of view, guys. So, and if I hope that you guys will be entertained, or you will find this a bit informative or useful. If it's not, I apologize. But here we go, man. Here we go. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about rewards, right? So the issue about rewards is pretty simple, right? Right now we are in probably an era of the game where for you to win, right, is just a little bit too difficult. um, Looking at game week 298, which is the current game week itself, right? The so far in All Star Limited, the top points is 534, which basically means, right? I think so. Four of out of five of the flames. Okay, let me just make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So I'm not sure whether you guys can see this. Let me zoom it a little bit also. 120, yeah. So as you can see from here, so what's happening here is that this Nico 2906 is six. He had Mbappe and Neymar. Neymar is currently on a has actually scored 103 matches in a row, by the way. Mbappe scored 100. I think Kimmich scored around 100 also. Danny Blin also scored 100. So he has an AX, and then this is Safanov, right? From Krasnodar, which is one of the better goalkeepers in there. So I think this is an example of a very, very strong stack, right? And not only does he have a strong stack, he has players that has high XP percentages. So if you look at his Mbappe is 108 because he has an 8% percentage hit. So if you look at majority of all these teams, right, I would say 4 out of 5 of their teams are getting 100 points. And not only that, they're getting high XP, high bonuses. So if it takes 500 points to win the division, I mean, now we are hearing really crazy things, like people scoring 400 points and only getting a tier 3 reward. So what will happen here is that people, I mean, majority of people are going to lose interest in the game because they feel that the game is not winnable. It's not worth it, because unless you have the likes of a Bayern stack or a Zenith stack or a PSG stack, or a Red Bull Salzburg stack, you're not going to win anything. And it's pretty scary. Another stack that's really scary is the Zenith stack, right? If you look at both the top, the second and third, they all have Malcolm. This is Wendell, and then this is Douglas Santos, right? And these three cards, right, is all broken because all of them will have high XPs because there are no new Russian league cards being minted into the market. So usually what happens is that when a new cards get minted, the older cards lose the bonus 5%. But because there's no new cards, they keep their 5%. And then now Zenith stacks are going to be OP. I mean, if you look at Malcolm, for example, Malcolm's scores was pretty insane. Like, I've seen crazy scores, but his scores was out of this world. Like, I think before he scored the goal, his AA was just out of this world. And Zenith, right, if I'm being super honest, or wrong Malcolm, but yeah, I'm being honest, Zenith is just an unbeatable team. right? I have a CSK Moscow stack, which is basically CSK was probably the second best team in the league, and they destroyed CSK Moscow like as if they were nothing. So they are so far ahead above everyone. Right? So you look at the scores in the last match. I mean, you're talking about that. This is. I mean, he had a 45.7 all-round score. And that's insane. That's just out of this world. That shows how dominant he is as a player, right, in this league itself. And that's, I guess, one of the biggest problems is that why people are really why this is really happening is just that they're just really very powerful teams, right? Bayern, with of course Kimmich, they will always be really really good. You have Zenith, you have PSG, you're gonna have Red Bull Salzburg. That's another team. You have Club Brugge or Anderlecht. These are just the strongest team in their leagues, and these are basically teams that have won. I mean PSG in the League One. I mean, they're just gonna be unbeatable, and they are the best players in the league. And that's reflective of the game in real life. I mean, this SO5 score isn't just restricted to just Sorare. This is basically how, the world of football is, right? But what happens is that people are going to lose a lot of interest. I think one of the big things one thing that really scared me is that I like to use this website called tactic.so, and I hope it doesn't hang because it's a really good site. It's a free to use website. You can go to the dashboard here, and then what you do, you look at hot deals. What hot deals does is actually looks at basically all of the top players that are basically they're arranging cards by the biggest discounts, and the top two cards, right? They are technically, I would say, going for cheap, but that has, I would say, almost a huge, cut. It's actually a Joshua Kimmich and Kylian Mbappe. Joshua Kimmich has a £5,000 cut right now. So whoever bought him at 19,000 two weeks ago, it's now worth 14,000. They've lost probably about €5,000. And then this is the next one is actually Mbappe, which is also roughly about €4,000. So why are people? These are two of the top scorers, but the thing is not enough because you need XP. And then the best part is that both these cards will have new cards that are coming into the market, and these cards will get their XP axed. And it's impossible to win the top tier reward if, let's say, you don't have the high enough XP. And that is a problem, guys. When people lose interest and people are selling all this, if you look at it, just look at all these rares, right? These are all great players. Anthony, Sebastian Siniski, Adam Militao, Muric. These are all high scorers. Thomas Muller, Sesko, extremely high rated players, high scorers in SO5. And they are the cards that you would think will always keep their value, but they are now going for the biggest. They're actually being discounted at the moment. So I think this is, I guess, in many ways, a clear, I would say, indicator that Sorare definitely need to do something about rewards. So, but what can do? They can't change the game of football, right? But what they can do is, number one, they can start, introducing, a status bar, right? A bar that if you hit maybe like 200, you get X points that you can use to eventually open up a tier 1 player, if you get enough points eventually, right? A progress bar, sorry, that's what I'm trying to say, right? They can start implementing so that people will have always the motivation to keep playing. They don't just need to win. Just look. I'm not trying to say that even in my game week this week, right? I don't score in the same ways like you probably see 500s, but I'm going to win 2 tier 3s, right? And it's because of my Asia team. I had pretty good scores all around. I had one guy that didn't play very well. I scored about 356 points. I would say 2 months ago, they could get me a tier 2 or even a tier 1 sometimes, and this is just a very low tier 3, which is probably going to cost about $1 to $2 max, and that's a problem, right? Even in specialists, I was very lucky to get Jesus Medina and Christian Nova to score really insane, thankfully. So I guess the key now is that, okay, this is what I might take in this, right? My take in this is that if you want to continue to play Sorare, and if you are playing it at a budget that actually has a cap, firstly, don't play Champion Europe. Don't play All-Star, right? Only play All-Star if you're trying to get threshold, right? Because if you're going to play All-Star Limited and you're putting yourself up against teams like say, Mbappe, teams with Neymar, you're never going to sniff the top 10. It's very, very hard for you to sniff the top 10. And I can prove to you, man. So let's look at the top 10 here, right? Number 1, Mbappe. Number 2 has Neymar. Number 3 has Malcolm and Noah. Number 4 has Mbappe again. Number 5 has Neymar. Number 6 has Mbappe. Number 7 has Mbappe. This has a Zenith stack, right? He still has Kimmich, right? This has a Zenith stack with 1 Christian Mahrez. See, top 10. Every team has literally the biggest and baddest players that you can. There's no, like, you know, I would say not even top 10, top 20 guys. Top 20 guys have either Zenith, Bayern, or PSG stacks. Not even top 20. Wow. It's almost the top 30, top 50. And you must think, how come everybody has a Mbappe because they are being auctioned off. You know, the supply of limiteds is just so high right now. And now there's so many players actually having it. So the difference maker is XP. And that's something that, you know, the older players will always have a little bit, or you got to pay a premium for. So this is what I'll do. So this is I'll play my all-star teams, even my champion Europe teams and my challenger Europe teams, right? My strategy for that now is that I'm going to just use, I won't use my best teams in those tournaments, because there's no way I can actually kind of compete. So I will only really compete in Asia and America, because I find that, you know, there's still, you know, some element of me getting rewards, at least tier 2 or tier 1s. I would play specialists and underdog. Those two, man. Specialists and underdog are the team to go, are the tournaments to go for, especially specialists, man. Because specialists has such good rewards. I mean, if you look at specialists, right? If you look at the result for specialists, firstly, I got a tier 3 with only, I would say, 300 points. Let me see my specialist team. 300 points, right? If you look at that, right? If I had 7 points more, I would have gotten a tier 2 limited already. If I had just one of these two players to have a better game, you're talking about a tier 2 red, tier 1 red. You know, and for me, that's a game to play, man. Specialist, man. I'll play specialist. I'll also play a little bit on underdog, because underdog is also really very good. So those are, I guess, the teams and the competitions to go for, you know, and then also go for the off competition. So this is a good segue to the next topic we want to talk about, right? So I think my overall, I guess, stance on rewards is very simple. Number 1, you can't beat the big boys unless you want to spend like the big boys, which I personally won't, right? So but I still enjoy the game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on the off leagues, right? The specialist, underdog, you know, maybe Asia, America, you know, these D2 leagues that's coming up, you know, stuff like that. I'll play those off leagues. So I think that is one way to really do very, very well. And then, yeah, you know, and then let's see whether, you know, and I hope Sorare will look into this, expand the prize pool if they can, or add the progress bar, man. I think that's what we need, right? We just need a progress bar. If you hit 200 points, you get X number of points that you can buy off a store. And one thing that you can buy off a store is a tier 3, the opportunity to win a tier 3 card or tier 2 card. I think if you do that, that will be fantastic. That will keep the game moving on, and that will keep people engaged. If not, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get people selling off their galleries, and that's not good, man. And that's not good for anyone. Because I believe in the future of Sorare, and I want Sorare to succeed. Okay, so let's go to the next topic. So the next topic is this. So I don't know whether you know. So yeah, Sorare has introduced second division leagues. So basically, what this is that as of Game Week 300, there will be German Bundesliga 2, Spanish La Liga 2, Italian Serie B, French League 2, and English Football League. Some people are very unhappy about this because, firstly, you know, especially with the fact that some of these cards can actually play in, where did they say? They can play in Global All-Star, they can play in Global Under 3. So I think what this means is that there will be some teams, right, that's going to kill, you know, in these leagues, right? So for example, right, like a newly relegated team from the La Liga. So for example, something like Getafe or something like that. Did Getafe get that one? Let me see. I bought a couple of let me see. Sorry, let me go to my club. You can see my club. Is it this team? Sorry, Mallorca. Is it Mallorca? Oh no, sorry. What's the name of this team? Levante just got relegated, right? So players like this guy Malero, for example, right, who probably had no utility, was probably worth 50 cents, now has amazing utility because he is a good scorer. He scored decent scores, and he's gonna do very well in in La Liga too, right? And I like this, man, because of the fact that it's impossible to compete in the Champions League, in the Champions League division and the All Star division. Having these new divisions actually allows us to kind of create something and see, it's new. So it gives me the ability firstly to scout. So what I did was, I've been scouting this kind of players. I've looked at Levante, for example, see how well Levante is done in FOTMOB or in any, like in SofaScore, for example. So I'll go to SofaScore right here, right, and then I'll search Levante, right. No, oh, this is what I've been doing. So this is just a bit of a trick, right? You go to Spanish, you go to Spain, right? Go to La Liga 2, okay, League 2 La Liga 2, and then look at the best players. That's what I've been doing actually. So I've been looking at all the best players. So like this is Daniel Ojada, for example. He is currently has an 8.4 rating. So what I'll do, I'll click on this, right, and then try to search him on Sorare and see whether he actually has a card, for example. So let me just show you this. So I've been doing that, man. I've been just scouting players and then looking at their prices. So Daniel Ojada, let me see. So there's no, so he's not in available, right? So then you start looking again. Then I'll start looking again. For example, what other teams? So there will be some teams that we have. So Deportivo Alaves, there is definitely players there because they just got. So like this guy, Danny Cardenas, for example, I'm pretty sure that he has a card. Let me see. And he is one of the best goalkeepers currently in this league. There we go. Okay, he doesn't have a. Okay, no card yet. Okay, let me just go to Espanyol. Let me go to Deportivo. So I've also been looking at Deportivo Alaves. So there is, so some of the players that I bought, like I bought this oh wow, Lejeune actually is playing. So I bought a couple of players. Let me see who they have. Like, oh wow, they actually play. I bought Ruben Duarte. I bought Severa. I think Lejeune actually moved on already. Sorry. So Sorare doesn't have the second division stats yet, but I've been looking. So like for example, Severa, I've been looking at Severa. I bought a Severa for myself. So the thing is, goalkeeper is pretty cheap in these leagues right now. So I've managed to get Severa for like 70 euros, which I think is really that cheap for a limited player who will probably give you good stars. I bought a Ruben Duarte also, like for like, you see, can get him for 4 euros. I bought one roughly around that price. You can get some for cheaper. And he also will probably play. So the reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, it's a new league for me. So I'm going to feel the team and I'm going to test my waters, do scouting. And then I feel that if some of these players get good scores, then what will happen is that I'll sell them off. So I bought enough to achieve field 3 teams, I guess. So I'll sell off the ones that I make profit on, and then maybe the rest I can invest into other places. So I think I think overall, I'm pretty okay with this second division because it's just more things for me to play. But I guess the only thing that really kind of pissed off is if people were investing in especially under 23s. Because now you think about it, there's going to be a lot more under 23s in the market and under 23s that will perform. Because there will be some like under 23s that might, for there's one guy that I have that I think looks pretty insane. Let me just see. So yeah, let me see. I bought him. Let me see, where is he? Yeah, this guy, Nikita Ia. So he plays for Villarreal B, right? I have an 8% on him because I don't think they're going to mint new cards. It's under 23 eligible, right? If you look at his scores, right, he plays consistently for Villarreal B, and Villarreal B is actually doing pretty decent in the second Liga. Let me show you that. So there we go. So as you can see, he has. So this is him. He plays for Russia. You see, he's played 2 matches, minutes per game. Scored about 0 goals, but pretty good stats all around, 13 touches, and stuff like that. He was also very good at one. So he's been playing every match for I would say Villarreal, and that's the thing, right? That's what I want. So now I have this other guy that can compete with the likes of Mbappe or Carlos Cuesta or Sesko and stuff like that. So, and people who have invested in under 23 and actually have paid premiums to get them, that's a problem for them. They are gonna definitely feel that, oh my god, now my under 23 has more competitions. So, I mean, that's, I guess, the other side of things, right? For people who have invested a lot in under 23s, how this will affect also the All-Star Leagues, we don't know. But for me, it gives me an opportunity to buy players at a cheaper. I don't have to depend on Mbappe maybe. But yeah, so I am okay for this because it gives me an extra way to play. Maybe Sorare could have been better in actually communicating this. I think one of the biggest drama around this is the fact that there were certain accounts that were buying up all these second division players who were dead cheap at that point in time, weeks before this was announced. Although signs were there. So there were signs that the photos were starting to get updated. They said there were leaks. I feel that, I think if people did their research enough, they probably took a punt, right? But yeah, man, these people I think they made a lot of money. I think there was one account that had 100K worth of second division players. I mean, the amount of money he probably made, if he sold all of them now, it's going to be insane. So, I mean, everyone could have done that, I guess, but maybe there was an element of foul play. I guess Sorare will investigate. I think those parts are things that Sorare need to get tighter on, and also you can't just knock it. You just can't push this out with no they had so many of those like big events where they could announce stuff, and then they just announced, this came out on August 19 and it told everyone in 1 week we're gonna have this competition. So I guess communication wise it could be better. But yeah, man, it's interesting. I personally think it's going to be a unique way to play the game. But at the same time, I understand why people are really angry about it also. Okay, so that's the second topic. Those are my view. So the third topic is Sorare Data. Okay, here we go. I don't get this. I don't get why people are pissed off about this. And maybe it's just me. So I think if you play Sorare long enough, you would know that Sorare Data is probably the one, I would say, essential tool that you will need to play Sorare effectively. Without Sorare Data, you're never gonna get good at Sorare in any form of way. Why? What Sorare Data does is not, I would say, rocket science, but what they do is they provide all the data that you need to make an effective decision as a Sorare manager in one particular place, right? They give you the ability to see previous scores based on Sorare matrix, whether it's L15, whether it's L40, whether it's L5, right? They are able to show you all of the cards, in terms of values, how they've gone up, how they've gone down, allow you to look at trends, and there's so many tools, man. Like they allow you to do lineup builders, so you can actually kind of identify which, I would say, players to use for a specific week or not. I mean, I could do a whole video on how I use Sorare, and Sorare has been one of the most amazing tools. It probably cemented. I spend more time on Sorare Data than Sorare itself. And now people are looking at the prices. They're looking at, oh my God, it's 10 euros a month. I mean, if you look at yearly, yeah, it did look a bit expensive, right? 100 euros. I mean, that's probably two higher tier thresholds to get a yearly membership. You don't have to pay. I mean, if you want a 2 months free, go for it. I'm paying monthly. I'm going for the popular. I want all the presets. I want all the watch lists. The watch lists are absolutely invaluable for me. I want the stacks. I want the stacks utility. I want the injury utility. I want all of that. I want detailed sheets when it comes to teams. Because for me, I spend a lot of time looking at data to make, a fair decision. Because Sorare has helped me so much, man. Like a great example, right? Like I would have not known about Carrascal. Where's Carrascal? Okay, let me just look at CSK. So CSK Moscow is a perfect team, right? So, I mean, Carrascal is a great example of a player that I scouted, man. I don't know whether I'm making money or losing money. I'm making money on him. Exactly. So, making a lot of money. So I bought Carrascal right here at roughly about 90 euros. And the reason why I bought him was because I saw his SO5 scores back in the day, right? I saw that, even when he was playing, he didn't play much last year, but he was starting to really, really do very well. There were opportunities even at River Plate where he was scoring crazily as a sub. And then due to, certain moves, CSK, it was pretty evident that he was going to be the first choice. And the first game he had a 96 really, right? And yeah, man, look at that, man. He has had 6 decisive in the past 6 games. And the best part, they have very good, I would say, the next 5 matches are all winnable for them. Rostov might be probably the only difficult one, I would say, but Rostov's concedes goal. So this CSK Moscow stack, right? I knew it because of Sorare Data. I wouldn't have known Soraredata. I would have not known about Haris Koji Karaskal. And I found out about him. I paid 90 euros at the time, was a lot of money. I'm making money on him. Even his teammate Bedina is another one, right? And this is just data, like just now 59 euros. I got him for about how much? Let me see. I got him for 43. So I'm making money on both these players. And both these players have been really fantastic for me. Fantastic L5 about 72. So I see them, really steamrolling all the lower end in the Russian league until they meet Zenith. Because I think all their best scores are only when they meet Zenith. So this is the second best team, in my opinion, in the Russian league. But like I said, I wouldn't be able to do all of this on Sorare. So I have to use Sorare Data. And then you look at things like your results on a weekly basis. How, like, I use the Sorare Data app. I'm able to see all of my players, how well they're doing. Price alerts, trades. Oh my god, the trade function. How can I ever forget that? I don't have any, but this trade function is so useful. It allows me to see whether I'm doing a good trade or whether I'm getting a good trade. Allows me to make really informative decisions so that I don't get screwed over whatever some other manager might give me. And then you have another thing I love is also the concept builder. If I want to build a crazy stack, I can use this tool. I mean, the tools are endless, guys. I mean, how can you not want to even pay a measly, I would say measly, right? Some people are saying that, oh, you know what, people are living in developed countries. I'm from Singapore. I know people who live in developing countries, and if they take Sorare seriously, they are happy to pay 9 euros a month, right? Which is roughly about almost 30 to 50, can be up to 30 to 40 dollars in their own currency, and they will pay. If not, they'll pay the pro version, which is really good, right? So I don't know, for me, my take on this is that you should, right? If you are serious about Sorare, you will need Sorare Data. There isn't, I would say, a reality that Sorare Data will not be useful for you. You might try to get it in other tools and free tools, but it's not going to be the same. So I know there's a lot of whining about it, and you know what? They've been doing this for free for so long, guys. I jumped when they told me you have to pay. I just paid on the night that this came out, and I will always be happy to support. So I guess take it as me. Take it. If you can want to take my word for it, you can take my word for it, or give it a shot, man. There is a trial period, right? Especially if you're new, trying out Sorare. Try it out. I guarantee if you use it the right way, you're never gonna want to, and you will make the money back, man. You can make it in one trade. I just showed you 2 examples of how I've made the difference, for monthly fee, right? You will definitely make it if you use it correctly. So yeah, man. And I guess that's it, right? I've been going a bit of a shopping spree. I'll talk more about my buying. I've been buying a lot of stuff for my gallery. I've sold a lot of plays in my gallery. We'll do a bit of a gallery review in the next few weeks, in the next few days at least. And then because we do have some little rewards, I guess, to share. So maybe we'll do that reward, and I'll go through some of my moves for game week 300, which is going to be a very exciting game week. So all in all, I'm still enjoying Sorare. By the way, Fabrizio Romano is on our team, guys. That's awesome. Okay, but anyways, yeah, I just want to thank everyone for continuously always supporting my videos. I hope this was eye-opening. I hope this was beneficial for you, informative for you. Do share it with your friends. Do hit the like button. If you have any questions, any comments, guys, just happily. And I'll be doing a giveaway for this video. So head on to Twitter at THISKIDIS40. I'm going to run a giveaway there, but you would have to like or comment on this video. So yeah, thank you so much again for the great support. Hope you guys are enjoying game week. Best of luck for the upcoming game week 299, and have fun with Sorare always. See you guys. Peace.